Hello friends, it's Tonton from State 948. Today I want to talk about state transfer. I want to make a guide about how to find your perfect state. Many people are a bit confused about, the process, what you can, what you should consider in my opinion. You can have a very different opinion on that topic. It's really okay, but I've been playing games for a long time. I've been thinking about this kind of stuff, finding the right alliance, the right guild, the right whatever group of people to play with on many different games. So maybe that would help you, if you are not that experienced, I guess, as a gamer. The first thing to consider, I would say, is what type of gamer you are. And I see there are mostly two types of gamers. There are the casuals and the hardcore gamers. Casuals are the ones that do not they play when they can, right? So you have a bit of time on the way back from work, you will log on your phone and you will play a bit, and maybe you log off and you will prioritize like mostly everything else in your life, right? Your relationship, your friends, your work and stuff, whatever. You will prioritize a lot of other things, and games will be only when you have time, and you might not play a lot, you might play more or less. A core gamer will be someone that make time to play, right? So that's people that will always be there for foundry, that people that will never miss a bear trap. Like when you're a core gamer, you have an intention usually with the game. You are taking the game more seriously. That's what the other one are called the casuals, right? So that will be the first thing. And depending on your type of gamer, like you might want to find a more casual alliance, or you might be in a core alliance, a core gamer alliance that is a bit more active, but you will fit in a bit more. It's just like if you are too casual, they might kick you out because you will fall behind in terms of furnace level, in terms of everything, right? And the core gamers, that's for you guys. You need to be a bit more careful because there are many alliances where you might not fit in well, because it will be actually too casual. People won't take the game as seriously. They'll send the wrong heroes for a rally joiner. They'll not be as active in PvP events where you fight against each other. So that's one thing to consider. Are you a core gamer? Are you a casual gamer? And kind of, if you're a core gamer, my suggestion will be to go to, is it always the top one? It depends. But usually they're the top two alliance of every state. And it's not always the first in power that is the most active when it comes to fighting and PvP event and structure. So there might be exception when in some states it's alliance number 3 in powers and stuff, but often it's at the top 1 or 2 alliance of a state. And if you're a core gamer, I will clearly look to join one of these. For example, in my experience, when I moved state and the state was recruiting for the alliance number 3 or 4, I did not accept to join them, because for me, like, these players are too casual. They don't play actively enough. They are not bad people by any means. They are very good people, but I tend to play with people that are a bit more serious about video games. So I like to join the most active alliance in the States, whether it's the number 1 or 2, I don't care, but the one that's most active in terms of like fighting, foundry, canyon, SVS, before the battle, during the battle for SVS and all of that. So really people that are the most competitive and the most and the most eager to enjoy the game and to play the game actively, and often the biggest spenders and all of that. Another thing to consider is like, so you have the casual and the core gamer. You have as well you have the social gamer. That would be another way to look at it. And you have people that play for efficiency and performance. So social players will be having a lot of friends in game. You are looking to meet people, you are looking to make friends. Maybe you play on different states because you like the different alliances and people you meet from all around the world and all of that, and that's all good. And you have people that play for performance, right? They want to be strong at the game, they want to have maybe fun, but they'll be a bit more selfish. For me, I consider myself not very much of a social gamer. I actually don't really care who I'm playing with, as long as they are core gamers, if that makes sense, right? So you could have a very different ways to look at the game, right? But it's important to understand yourself and to know where you fit in this kind of 4 categories. So casual gamer or core gamer, which casual don't make time to play, and core gamer, they actually make time to play. And there are different levels of core gamers and casual. So there are people that barely play every day. There are casual that play a bit in the morning, a bit at lunch, a bit in the evening, because their day is structured like that. And there are core gamers that, you know, give themselves an hour because they have kids and stuff, so they give themselves an hour in the morning or in the evening. And you have core gamers that will play the game all day, right? So, you know, it's, while there are two camps that are, you know, in between and extreme on both sides, right? And for the social gamer and let's say competitive gamer, as it's the same, right? You could be competitive but care a lot about the social aspect as well of it. And, you know, be social and still care a bit with a competitive alliance, right? You don't want to play with people that don't even know which hero to send for a rally, for example. And, you know, in your choice of alliance, that could be important, because some performing alliance, like one in the top 1 or 2, they sometimes are not the most sociable alliance, you know. Overall, Whiteout Survival is a super social game. That's very surprising to me, coming from other, you know, or even other mobile game like Clash of Clans, or went from PC gaming, like competitive PC gaming, from World of Warcraft, from Warcraft 3, like, you know, Diablo, like that kind of game I'm playing a lot, or used to play a lot, and used to play competitively for some of these. Like, Whiteout Survival is such a casual and social game for me, right? That was a bit hard to grasp at the beginning, how much people care to play with each other and like each other and like to make friends in a video game. For me, it's more like, okay, I come in and I perform, right? If that makes sense. I'm coming and trying to have fun as well, but, you know, the fun and the excitement and the enjoyment of the game from being good at it, understanding the mechanism, knowing what I do. That's why I'm making guides, because I'm actually, you know, that the kind of gamer I am. So I'm learning the game that way. A casual gamer, they probably don't know that much about the game. They are more like, you know, some people that are viewing this channel or any other one, and that need to be told how it works, because they might not research it by themselves else, right? So that's something. And when you look for an alliance, when you talk to people, that could be something you really want to consider, basically. Is, you know, am I a core gamer? Am I, you know, another kind of player? And where alliance I am going into. If I'm a very sociable player and I go to the first alliance, and I'm not saying these are not sociable alliance. I actually don't know them. They could be very much. But it's possible that in some of these alliance, the social aspect is a lot less important. The most important aspect might be how much you spend, you know, can you attend events, do you have T11, do you have Fire Crystal 8, you know, that kind of stuff. These might be more important in some of these alliance than, you know, who you are as a person, and are you fun, and are you chatty in chat, right? So that will be for you to figure out, basically, before you join a state, because it could be tempting to join one of the bigger states, but that's, you know, that might not fit you. So first starting point before you find an alliance is knowing who you are. Are you more social? Are you more competitive? Are you more core gamer or casual gamer? And then trying to aim for that give you more chance to find the right set. Again, for me, my example was that I was applying to whichever, I forgot the states, a long time, like a year ago, and there was like, we recruit for alliance number 4 or number 3, and I look at the alliance and it was half dead, and, you know, he was not doing well in Foundry, he was not doing well at many levels, and like, I have no interest in that. Like, either I join you guys, the first one, and I'll be a rally joiner for you, I'll be present every Foundry, I'll be present every SVS Castle battle and everything, or I'll find somewhere else. And that's, you know, that's important to be clear with yourself and with your intention as well, because like the stronger alliance, they might be happy to have a core gamer, for example, because that's, you know, if they are looking for activity in game and engagement in game, that's good. So if you fall into that category, then, you know, that's something you can put forward and say, you know, I'm committed to the game, I'm committed to that. That's one thing. That was important. Then I want to cover a bit more like things in game, basically. And using the UI of the game about how to find transfer. There is not much to see. Here, you know, there is not much to see as well. So that's your transfer cost, basically. So you can have an idea of many paths you need, blah, blah, blah. So there is not much to do here. So it's all in there, right? You have some inactive. So what do you see here? You have some inactive states. So they are likely dead states, and, you know, I would not suggest to join a dead state unless you're a social gamer, for example, and you have friends there and you just want to be with them, or either you are a competitive gamer and that dead state still have a very nicely performing alliance, because maybe the state went through hell, and through hell sometimes people are building back up basically, and they have a good alliance that's maybe losing prep phase because there are not so many players on the state, but they are winning SVS battle and all of that, and you can get a lot of rewards and rank a lot higher on such dead state. But for most people I will not consider them. Join them only if you really care. Then the leading states, it will be very hard to join if you are a core gamer, because the power cap is very limited on these. Because these states the leading states are already very strong, so the game is limiting them from getting stronger basically. So there is no snowball effect on these states, right? They are already one of the best states out there. So you might not be able to join. If you're a bit behind, understand that if you join a leading state or a very active state, ranking in event will be very hard. You're not gonna be able to join the biggest rallies and everything. So I would not suggest them as well, to be honest, unless you want to be a cheerleader of the sport team and not be in the sport team. Then maybe that could be like a And if you have a friend, that's a very different story, right? You have your best friend playing on them and you just want to play with them, or an alliance you really like the vibe of, and they're number 4 of the state or 3, whatever. Go and join them. But that's something to consider when it comes to active, leading and inactive states, right? And everything else is then how do you do about that? Because there are so many states. Where do I move? The first thing I tend to suggest people is to move towards a newer state. So if you look at at us, we are here, right? So that's us, and roughly, I don't know if it's still accurate, but roughly 100 state was 30 days. So let's say the state creation date was the state were opening as quick as when I joined the game, around state 700, right? If the pace was still the same, it's roughly 100 state is 30 days. That means 3 states a day. So you kind of need to see, maybe it's a bit more right now. It's depending if it's slowed down or not. But that's already giving you an idea, right? And that means that if I join one of these, or even if I go further, my city will be older by 30, 40 days than all of these people playing in there. So of course I'll be stronger compared to them, because I'll get 40 days of extra event rewards, fire crystals, pet XP, train troops, bear trap. That could be 20 bear trap more than them. So you're not gonna be a whale, right? You're not gonna be so much stronger, but you will be stronger than the player that was playing as much as you, spending as much as you, right? So for me, I moved 300 states from 665 to 948. So that's nearly 300 states. And then my city is 80 days older than people on my state. So of course, if you look at the ranking, nowadays I'm spending a tiny bit more. So, but when I joined, I used to be in the top 15, 10 to 15. So if you look everywhere, I'm 13 for hero power, I'm 11. So when I joined the state, I was in the top 15. Before my journey in my first state, I was top 60 to 70. So I have a low spender, 20-30 euro per month, plus playing perfectly, because that was my second city. So I did not make mistakes the first 30 level. I did not make mistakes fire crystal 1 to 3. I played the game nearly perfectly. And I was still 60 to 70 while spending a bit every month and not making mistakes, right? But by going to transferring a few times and going to a newer states, I'm actually in the top 15, right? And that my power is a lot stronger compared to people in this state, because my city is again 80 days older, sorry. So I have 80 days of everything. So it's nearly a generation, right? A generation is 80, 90 days. So that's the first thing. And then within the state, so how do you do? The game allows you to see quite a bit actually during transfer. It's very hard to see outside of transfer, but if I'm curious, let's say I want to move far and I want to move to one of these states. So I'll see in the last 10 states of the group, right? Either an alliance for me. So you see I cannot transfer because my character is 120 days. So let's see somewhere I could transfer. So I could transfer nearly to the end of the cap. So that will be somewhere here. So how do I go about it, right? Let's say either like international flag, I guess. I'm not sure, but that could be. So let's say I'm interested potentially to transfer here. So you have access. If you click here, you have access to the leaderboard of the stage, right? So you can look at the alliance power. So that's what's very clear in that state. That's alliance power. That's super low. Wait 1 second. Am I drunk? I'm not drunk. I'm like, that's super weird. But that's okay. That's a very good stage, right? A decent example. So it's not a dead state, right? But the alliance has, 5 SVS star, but it's 13 billion, so it's super weak. The alliance somehow is super weak. Like a good alliance right now is like 25, 30 million at that stage. And there is no alliance after them. There are no other alliance on this state. So then, if you would look like exploration, it's probably low. If you would look at hero power, it's low. Like if I compare to my current state, all of it is super low and they have no alliance. So that's, for me, that's a dead state. Even if it's not an inactive state, it doesn't stay inactive, it's a dead state. So you have no interest joining there, for example. Or if I wanted a dead state, or if I wanted a special invite, then maybe I could get a special invite on a dead stage. It's a lot easier to get a special invite on a dead stage. If you're not a huge spender, like for me, getting a special invite, it's nearly impossible. I need to be lucky. The 2 times I got one, it was dead state, and it was someone that's really like me, basically. So it sent it to me, even if people, and that's my current state. So thank you to Farcad. He had a good feeling, with me, my 2 accounts, my farm, and all of that. He was like, that's the dude we want. So he invited me, even if people told him not to, because I was too weak. But they're happy to have me now. But they didn't know about YouTube or anything like that, right? I was not doing that at the time. So it's very hard. So let's look at another one. So that you see, they have 3, 4 alliances, but that's not really good, right? Like they have 1 SVS star. They don't have much more, so maybe, so what I'm looking for, power, SVS stars, you can always scroll to see if there is an alliance that got the name of the state, for example, the number of the state, because some states do that, but if you know a bit hero power and stuff of your state, like that's overall very low, right? That's overall very low, just to show you in my state, just to give you an idea so you understand. Hero power, we are 20 million, and that's not amazing. And total hero power, we are 107, 100, So we are looking at set wide at 60. So even if they are 30 days older, they're not gonna climb that much in 30 days. So these were weak states overall. So we're gonna review a few more together. And you can basically review state one by one, right? So I was from 59 to 55 to 56 to 57. How does it look? Alliance, okay, they have 3 alliance, and they have 1 that is having 5 SVS star, but it's kind of half dead right now. Not sure what happened, but it does not look that good. Little amount of player, little power, so maybe they lost their whales, maybe something happened. They have 1 SVS star on this alliance now, so it's still good to have 6 SVS star, right? But currently, it looks like they have weak players. They have weak total hero power, so their whales might have left the game, left the states, whatever, something went off. And so that's the first level, right? You scan, and let's see if I can find a good state like that. That's a lot better. You can see 3 alliances, but they're winning a bit SVS. That's decent, so maybe that's a state we could check a bit further. First is a quick scan. Right, that's a lot better. That's really a lot better. You can clearly see it, right? 4 alliances that have decent powers, 2 SVS star, 2 other SVS star here. So they have at least 5 SVS star, right? In that. So that's the first stage. So when you find a good stage, what do you do? For example, let's say 1059 is a decent state. So I could be interested, so I'll go there. For me, I will go in the middle. I'll actually go here. I'll go to the Sunfire Castle. Then I'll go to their states. And I'll look a bit at the battle record. Now I look, are they Supreme President? Which they are. They have been lately. So, it's every 2 SVS, it's a Supreme President. So if this one is Supreme President, this one could have been. That's when they defended their castle or they won pre-phase. This one as well. Either they defended their castle or they won prep phase. I mean, I don't know which one, but they defended their castle as well. For sure, I don't know if they win prep phase. So you can see that lately they have been Supreme President regularly, that they have no defeat. And if you look at the beginning of the stage, you see that they lost one time, versus a state that, we checked, and we didn't check this one. They lost one time, and they never lost signs. And they have 4 strong alliances, right? So that's, for me, with my criteria of a core gamer and everything, like, that's a decent option. It's not clear which alliance I really would like to join on such a state, because they are all kind of, they're all kind of the same power. I don't know which one is fighting the most, then that's where you look a bit here, right? Which are the alliance with the most strong player. So this one is the strongest, but one is good as well. There is like an alliance standing out. So you have an idea. But at that stage, what I will do, I'll contact the president. I'll say, hey, I'm interested to join your states. Can you give me the events of all the alliance? Because that will be a big criteria that I wanted to mention, is like, do you care to do all events? Probably yes. That's the case for me. I would not go to an alliance where I cannot do events. So if you care about all events, you will have to talk to people and to understand, do they have an alliance that suits you in terms of language, maybe in terms of event time, right? And then make a bit of a inquiry. What I will do as well, I will contact 2-3 people, either with my main or another account. 2-3 people from the top alliances, or maybe if I see that there is one that is interesting as well. Yeah, these are a bit weaker, but maybe someone from here as well be like, hey, how is it working on your states? What the atmosphere? How do you guys feeling? How do you guys feel about the stronger player? Are they, whales that are burning everyone, or the state is at peace? You can look at the kill count, but if you look at our kill count, it looks like Tonton is a bully. I actually never attacked anyone. I just made my point in SVS prep, so whatever, basically. So you cannot just look at kill count. Sometimes it could be people very active in SVS as well. So talk to people and get an idea. Talk to presidents, and that will be very important. And I'll try to see if I find an example of such a state. That's a dead state. See, so many of these are dead states. We are doing good. Gen 948, we are doing really good. So I'll take another example as well. If you look at that state, which is 1046, we did not look at it yet, I think, right? Basically, you have 2 alliances. These are very, very weak. So overall, these are somehow very dead state. I'm not sure what happened, but you have a stronger alliance. So let's say I would want to join such an alliance. I will contact people from these weaker alliance to see how it works. Are these the bullies? Are these people that don't work together? Are these, do the states have big issues with some of their alliances? I actually remember one state I contacted someone from another alliance, and they were like, let me contact you from another character, and they contacted me from another character to say bad things about the main alliance, because they were afraid that if I'm somehow from the main alliance, or if I'm sending a screenshot to the main alliance, they will be burned. So the dudes, that's how bad it was on the state. They were not even at peace, speaking about what they think and feel about the top alliance. You have to have maybe 2 people from maybe 2 alliances or something to give you confirmation of that stuff, right? Because you kind of never know. That could be, if you another example of what could be interesting or not, and again, talk to people and understand how it works. But you have an alliance that's, 5-star SVS. There is a tiny things behind it, it's NAP 3, so these are the 3 alliances, so it's quite a weak state overall. I'm sure if we look at hero power, that's okay actually. That's very high. So somehow, they, see they don't have our state is 109. Here we are 20 mil as well, and these guys are a month newer than us, at least, if not 2. So if we compare island, no, we cannot see labyrinth. Oh, labyrinth. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? So overall, that's pretty good. So the state has an alliance that win prep phase, battle a lot. I'm not sure they win prep phase because they're actually on the weak side for the amount of power and active alliances. So if that guys are working well together with these guys and the atmosphere is good on the state, it's not a highly competitive state. You have a good chance to win SVS. So that could be some people I talk to if I was interested to transfer. And then what I will do like I've done previously. I'll go there, I'll go check their castle and to have an idea about how the state is doing lately, right? Because some states, they got their stars from a very long time ago and they are not doing well lately and you might not want to join them. So they had a good beginning. They were supreme president, then they lost 4 times in a row. And now again, so they build back up at the beginning of the year. Probably they are supreme president. They got invited again, and they got supreme president. So see, like it's not too bad, right? It's kind of talking to them and see what's going on, and if the main alliance staying or planning to look for a new home. These states could be merged. We are in our case we are 1 week or 2 weeks from merger, so they might be merged with other states, so it might shake up the things a lot. If you move now, you might need to move again next transfer. I think that's why some people are waiting a bit to see how it goes before moving. We kind of struggle to recruit, but that's something to take into account, and that's rare enough. Like, I think they are merging states. They are merging against state 4 to 7 or 4 to 16, so these have been merged like nearly a year ago or something. So they might merge states as needed, but maybe once a year or once every 1.5 years, something like that. So far, what did we see about transfers? We saw about how to search for estates, what to consider, how to talk to people. Event time is really important. We talk about core gamer and casual. We talk about social gamers and more people playing for performance. So when you have all that in mind and you talk to people, then you kind of filter the state. That I think in most cases it's good enough. It's really good enough. Like I've been transferring for 3 or 4 times, and because maybe I care less about the social aspect, but I always end up in the top 1 alliance or top 2. But the one that was the most active for Sunfire Castle, SVS, and all of that, and that was really, to be honest, all the alliance were good. Some of them were more or less organized, some of them were more or less structured. You could have your own criteria. Like, do you want an alliance that's go on Voice for Foundry or Sunfire Castle Battle? Do you want an alliance that play, Alliance Showdown seriously? Do you want a state that's maybe somewhere we can go? Is like there are states that are at peace like us, and we don't really fight versus each other. So that's something that many people like, but some people might actually prefer to go on a state when there is regular PvP event arranged, usually during Fortress, and usually during Fortress, could be around facilities as well. So that's something to consider as well, based on your kind of the way you play the game. Do you want a state that is really at peace and there is no war, nothing, you never have to bubble? For us, we do the I forgot them, Fortress and Stronghold. We do them from Hive, so we never teleport. We just rally from the base, and if the rally takes 15 minutes, nobody will ever take our Stronghold or our fortresses. We save a lot of teleports. It's chill, but for some people it might be boring. Some people might really enjoy to fight all the time. So some states have different rules around what's allowed. We don't really have a nap, but we are just at peace, so we don't need a nap. We just nap is non-aggression pack, so you don't really need that when you are just working with each other, and you care to win about pre-phase and SVS battles, so you don't fight with each other, right? You fight against another state. So that's something as well I think is quite important to know, to understand. And I think that's it for transfer, guys. I think that's really the big things. They kind of decide and look at who you are, what kind of player you are. Choose your state based on that. Talk to people on the other states. I find that most states do not really communicate that well, to be honest with you. It's a bit light when you talk to president often. Some happened to me to be invited on the state after we exchanged rewards. Basically, hey, I want to transfer. the dude look at my profile, they invited me, right? It happened on one of my states when I got a special invite, not this one, but another one. Like it was kind of a half-dead state, and when I got the special invite, I knew it was burned for them, so I just accepted it, right? I was like, okay, let's go to that state, we'll see. You know, it's very weird to get a special invite when you get declined everywhere, to get it immediately without talking to the president, but he was not speaking English very well at all, and you know, we are translating from like one of the Asian language, I forgot which one, Chinese, Korean, whichever, and I got invited and I transferred and all went well. I ended up quitting because of the event time, because we merged two alliances and that was not working for me at all, because I was on an alliance I joined an alliance that, you know, times were working for me, but without that I would have probably stayed, it was one of these half-dead states with a very strong alliance that was very good to work with, very nice people, never have a chance to win prep phase because states was too inactive, but have a very good shot at winning battle phase because strong players and very good coordination and very good knowledge about the game. So there are very different kind of states. If you join a very active stage, really remember that everything you do in the game, you will get less reward from it. You might win Foundry a bit more, you might win SVS a bit more, and still, like, you have to consider that if you look at let's do that before the end of the video. That's maybe interesting to do. So let's look at the super stage, right? So 959. I think they lost a bit in power and stuff, but they used to be like, I don't know what happened to 959. They are still leading, but they used to be a monster state, and I think somewhere else quit, or I don't know exactly what happened to them, but they are a lot less strong than they used to be, it feels. But we look at the state that's kind of rising as well. So let's do 959, sorry, not 951. See, their castle is taken. It was not an easy battle for them, you know, they managed to get a bit of time. And if you look at the Hall of Fame, they are losing a bit lately, not that much, but they have been losing in February. They have not been losing signs, but they have been they have been supreme as well, president. So, but somehow they got, they got beaten by 962. Let's look at 962, which is not a leading stage, right? So some states that used to be very strong, like when I look for transfer, these guys were the dope, were amazingly strong. And now I'm not sure what happened. They are not that strong. If you look at this state, it's a lot better, right? They have 4 strong alliance. They have decent power. They don't have a very strong alliance, but all of them are decent. Plus 15 mil is okay. So I don't know if it's a 5th alliance or a farm. So they manage, whatever they do, they manage it well, right? That's working for them. But let's look at another one, the last one, which is amazingly strong. We have 946 and 943. 943, I won't look at it because it's really like the top, one of the top states, right? They are Tyrant, they have crazy alliance, they are killing it. So they might be winning, but if we look at 946, actually I have no idea how it goes on their states. So as you see, it's I went to be too quick, but I'll still show you. So that's individual and that the alliances, right? So 3 good alliances, very strong. This one with, so this one has these states. Okay, they have. Never mind. They nearly won all their SVSs. They have 4, they have 2, and they have 6. But sometimes you will find such states. So it's not a good example actually. But I'm not sure I can find one easily, so I'll just explain. So sometimes you find such states, right? They are crazily powerful. They are one of the strongest, but if you look at their castle, if you will go, and that, again, that's not the case here, because they are doing very well, but it could be, let's see, maybe they lost some SVS still. You look at their castle and you see that they are regularly losing, right? In that case, they never lost their castle, so that's one of the strongest states you can ever think of, right? But you will see some of the very strong states with very strong alliance losing castle. It's either they are losing prep phase because they don't have enough activity on the states, or mostly it's like when you are that strong, you basically fight against other strong states. Like all your matches are against very, very strong states, and it may not be all of them because the matchmaking, might not have enough strong states. If there are 3 or 4, if there are 3 very strong states in your cluster, then 2 will match each other and the other one will have someone weaker, right? That's just the way it is. If you have 3 equally but far stronger than everybody else, you cannot make a matchup with 2 people, and you know, that's gonna be unfair for someone at least. So yeah, so it's not always a sign of winning. So you have to look at castle, you have to understand, but as well know that, you know, yeah, you might still do SVS because you are just, your foundry is gonna be harder. Like for us, as soon as we register with 30 people, like foundry is insane. We are fighting some of the top alliances in the neighborhood. They have a few max player. You know, last time where did we lost against? I forgot, but they are maybe not here anymore. But we fought like versus alliances that are a lot stronger. Partially because people register without hero gear, so they looked as powerful as us on paper because we are not removing hero gear, and at the end of the day they were so much more powerful than us, and we got our butt kicked, but that's another story. So yeah, so pay attention to all of that, guys. Yeah, one last thing before I go. If you have your first transfers, they tend to be on a very little amount of states. So, you know, the first 2, 3, 4 transfers, you might be able to move 30, 50 states. And I moved a lot at that time myself because I was like, I'll start my journey. You know, if I need to move 300 states, it might take me 4, 5 times, 6 times. So I'll start to move quite quickly. And then people that move in Gen 4 or 5, in 2 transfers, they transferred as much as me, because later the range of states you can transfer is actually bigger. And if you look at us, and it's not a big range right now, but you could technically transfer from 948 to 970, right? So I can do 130 and 22 states, right? If I really wanted 220 states, when initially the first state I transferred was 30 states. Then I managed to move 100. Then I managed to move 100, and then I managed to move 40. I think it was like 30, 100, 140 more or less, or 50. But people, you know, manage to move like 150 states sometimes, on very, depending a bit on, you know, on how it goes. So sometimes if you want to move back in time and you don't really care on your first jump because you know you're not gonna stay on that state, then, you know, if your state is not terrible, don't move. You know, if you enjoy people and everything, and just do it when you have a very wide range of, you know, of states that are an option. And that the later you go, and it's kind of fixed, right? We never gonna be able to transfer for 300 or 400 sets in one job, because you transfer only for people with the same generation of heroes, right? So because it's a 80 day, every 80, 90 days there is a generation. It means that these, you know, we got Gen we got Gen 7, you know, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, and that means that these guys just got it, right? They just got Gen 7, so they are up to 80 days more or less, you know, maybe 70, maybe 90 newer state than us. So yeah, so that I hope it was helpful. You know, you have some filter if you want to, if you have your language set up, you know, like English, so that could be helpful. I mean, most states are English speaking anyway. It's very rare, but that may be worth, you know, making sure you are not moving. I don't know. I think some states are Japanese, but I don't know if you see them actually in the transfer. I'm not sure if it's how it works for these states. But some might be restricted to language. I'm actually not really sure, but you can tick that if you want to be sure. Maybe it saves you a bit of time. That's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if it was helpful. Again, if you want to subscribe to the channel, after 1,000 people, I will open my Discord. So we are above 700. So we nearly got we got 40, 50 in the last 2 days, I think. So it's really going well. Thank you very much for that. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.